Earlier this year, National Geographic magazine called the Willamette Valley region the next Champagne, as in Champagne, France, the OG home to sparkling wine. With me now is Jean Feldkamp from Corollary Wines. Good morning.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So you're also on the board of directors for Method Oregon.
Yes.
So what is that?
So Method Oregon is an organization, it's a consortium of sparkling winemakers in Oregon. So we have 55 member wineries right now.
Okay, and you are making this traditional method sparkling wine. What does that mean?
Yeah, so traditional method is sparkling wine that's made the exact same way as champagne. The defining feature is that there are two fermentations. The first one happens sort of the regular way, usually in a barrel or a tank. The second happens inside every individual bottle.
Okay, and so I think last time you were here, we were talking about magnums, and those, I don't know, how long is the longer they're in the bottle, like the more bubbly it gets? Or tell me more about what's going on in there.
Sure. So for Method Oregon wines, the minimum time on tirage, so with the sediment from the second fermentation in the bottle, is 24 months.
Okay.
And so that's the sediment is sort of breaking down over time. It's adding flavors and texture to the wine. And then to remove the sediment, you disgorge. And so the difference with a magnum is that the magnum twice the size of a regular bottle, but the cork is the same size. And so the rate of oxygen exchange is slower. They just age a little differently.
Okay, got it. So see, if you're into all this sciencey stuff, there is a big event this weekend where you can learn and taste, of course. It's also called Method Oregon. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so the Method Oregon Grand Tasting Weekend is this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out in the Willamette Valley. And it's a series of events. So we're starting with Sparkling School, which is sort of the deep dive into the process and
the sciencey stuff.
Yeah, the sciencey stuff. And then we're doing an amazing block party at Argyle on Friday night with some special bottles, some reserve bottles, and food trucks and a DJ. It's going to be a ton of fun. Saturday is the grand tasting, the big event. So more than 50 of the Method Oregon wineries are getting together to do this side-by-side tasting. You get the whole cross-section of Oregon sparkling. And then on Sunday, it's kind of a choose-your-own-adventure day. So more than 24 of our members are doing events at their own facilities kind of all around the state.
Okay, and I think tickets are still left for Sunday.
Yes.
Unfortunately, if you want to go to the grand tasting, you have to already think about 2027, but they're already on top of that.
We do have a wait list for this coming weekend.
Okay, good to know, good to know. So yeah, you brought a few examples of the members in the consortium, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we have Cho Wines, Lytle Barnett, Arabilis, Brooks, Lundin, Corollary, and Granville here.
And you have a trail map, which is great for folks, maybe they can't come to the tasting, but they want to explore on their own. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Method Oregon Trail Map is a really great tool for sort of planning your day out in wine country. It's an interactive map. You can zoom in on certain regions, or you can, look for wineries that just have sparkling flights. It's a really interesting way to do some discovery and plan a trip.
Yeah, very fun. Yeah. How does it feel to you to be compared to Champagne, France?
Well, Champagne makes some very beautiful wine. They've been doing it for a while. And we're really excited to be in that conversation. I think, Oregon traditional method wine expresses this place where we are. So the wines are different. They're made exactly the same way, but they really express the essence of Oregon. And that's very important to us.
But, and is it what is it like on an international level? I mean, when someone talks about champagne or drinks proper champagne, they know what they're getting. And you're saying the same thing is happening here.
Yeah, so that's the Method Oregon standard is meant to give people that certainty. So they'll know that the wine is 100% produced in Oregon. It's aged at least the 24 months on tirage. And starting in 2029, we have a sustainable farming element to the standard where the wines have to be from an organically farmed vineyard or a live certified vineyard farmed without herbicides. So,
got it.
Yeah.
And I understand there is kind of a stamp that is on the bottle, so people do know that it is made in the traditional way, right?
Yeah, so you'll start seeing that in the coming year. So it's the Method Oregon logo. It would be on the back label of the bottles, and that's how you know that it was made in the Method Oregon manner.
Yeah, good to know. And this didn't happen overnight. You and all these producers have been working very hard to get here, right?
We have, yeah. We've been having conversations for years and years, and we started formalizing things last year. So last year's Method Oregon Grand Tasting was really a way of sort of testing if this was the right moment to create the organization. Last year's event was a great success, so we formed a nonprofit in January of this year.
Okay, well, great. Well, this weekend's going to be a lot of fun. Tell people how they can learn more information, get tickets, and then, yeah, just learn about the organization in general.
Yeah, absolutely. MethodOregon.com is where you want to go. So that has all the details about the members and the standard, the event. You can follow us on Instagram, Method Oregon, and hopefully we'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, bubbles are my favorite, so I'm glad Oregon is finally getting its dues for it. It's great. Thank you so much for coming.
Cheers. Thanks.